Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is David. This is a weekly question and answer video I do every single Monday. I'm answering people's questions from the last video I did last Monday, and I encourage all of you to please go down below in the comment section, ask me anything you want, and I will answer your question next Monday in next week's video. I recommend something every week to you guys to help with anything that deals with trauma, emotional trauma, whether it's depression and anxiety and better sleep and things like this. Something I've recommended several times now in the many years I've been doing this is adopting a pet, a dog or cat, whatever else you want. Dogs or cats have been proven to help your hormones, to help your nervous system. And a lot of us who, if you're experiencing PTSD from emotional trauma, that means that your nervous systems aren't working well enough. Might be a chemical imbalance. And dogs, like this, help raise your oxytocin. It helps you feel better about life, positive attitude on the world and people. It helps you eat better. It helps you depression and anxiety, things like this. Big time, okay? It's a friend. It's someone you can really, really trust, accepts you and is always there for you, right? This is Dani. Dani's been with me for 13 years. Long time. She has seen me go through some of my traumas, and she's been there during my recovery and has helped immensely. She's my best friend. I love her to death. I strongly recommend you guys add an animal to your life. It just does so much for you. And I encourage you to adopt. Go to your animal shelter. You will find the best pet in the world there. Better than any breeder, any pet store, puppy mills, things like this. Finding a mixed breed dog typically are the healthiest. They can stand, all kinds of different diets and stuff like this. They don't have as many teeth problems, skin problems, eye problems, joint problems, okay? And always, always, always spay and neuter your pet, please. There's a huge animal problem. That's why they're in shelters. So I've recommended pets many times. I've had lots of great feedback. Lots of you guys have gone out and adopted pets. During this crisis that started 2 years ago, here in America, animal shelters just cleared out. I mean, literally, I was checking cities and there was not one in many different cities, and it was a beautiful thing. As things started to open back up, sadly, people took their pets back. And honestly, if a pet is going to be euthanized, if you could take a pet for another month, 6 months, give them an extra, however much life, and see if it works out in your house, that's great. I encourage it completely for you and the pets. The pets need us and we need them. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's get ready. Let's get started for the questions. The first one is from Nancy in Jersey Shore. Hi, Nancy. David, over the years I've talked about the relationship with my adult daughter, and you really have been kind in response. Thank you. Without telling me explicitly to go no contact, your replies were in question form, as in, why do we keep these people in our lives? I've allowed this shame to continue by tolerating the behaviors. No response to dropping off my granddaughter's Easter basket. This is by design. This is meant to hurt. This is a mean way of saying you don't matter. I get it. Always knew it. Hope she would soften. Self-awareness is my strength. Looking at my accountability, apologizing if wrong is called integrity. I can soul search all day, but the shame and heartbreak live on as long as I take the hits and apologize for things that never happened. Over and over again, you have helped me more than you know. Jersey Shore appreciates you. Thank you very much, Nancy. I really appreciate you and everybody who takes your time to just tell me thank you. Thanks for your time. I appreciate all of you very much. And Nancy, again, I'm terribly sorry for your loss. I'm really sorry. This doesn't have to hurt forever. It's really hard for me. I can only try to imagine what it's like to lose a child. I can't imagine. I think a part of that fear has kept me from having my own. Good attitude, Nancy. Good attitude. It will serve you very well. Very, very well. I promise, as we become emotionally intelligent, as we become more mature, things that devastate us don't have to anymore. And when we start coming out of experiences, making choices that are the best for us, we can feel good about some of the worst experiences in our life. I promise. I'm sorry, Nancy. I hope this gets easier and easier for you, and I hope it stops hurting soon. MB, or Melinda. Melinda from the Bay Area. Hi, Melinda from the Bay Area. And that's San Francisco, for those of you who don't know. Again, thank you so much for your crusade to help suffering people. Your program helps so much. Thanks for telling me. Have you happened to see the psychiatrist explain borderline personality disorder, day 9 of Johnny Depp trial? If yes, let us know what you think about her description. So here we go. I've had multiple questions about the trial. My only hesitation speaking about anything on here, because I'm not going to claim I'm just this open book, but I think that, I want transparency. I'm honest. I share my own experiences a lot with you guys. And it's just too bad that I can't be open. I can't say what I want. I can't use words I normally use that help me describe how I feel and what I want to translate to you guys. I can't talk about certain subjects and topics and say people's names. The censorship in media is unbelievable these days. It'd be nice to even just have a list of things they tell me I can't say, but they can't do that, right? Freedom of speech, since they can't admit it. But they just silence you and shadow you. For those of you who ask me questions constantly, why do my questions and comments get deleted? Why don't I see your videos? Why can't I find your channel? It's because I talk about things YouTube doesn't want me to. It's not harmful. It's not bad. It's just people complain, and I can't talk about any kind of victimization, abuse, trauma. They don't want me to talk about anything. And I push it. For you guys as much as I can. That being said, I don't know how much I can talk about this trial. I'm going to talk about it here now. I may not make a separate video for it until the trial is over. I know that they don't want you talking about cases that are still going on, where someone could be innocent, right? And I'm talking as if they're guilty, things like this. Your specific question about the psychiatrist, she is great. She impressed me so much. She is fantastic. I mean, I don't know her. I don't know how she works. Her deposition, she handled herself amazing. I mean, just amazing. That Amber's side is disgusting. They're disgusting attorneys. I know it's just their work, but I can tell, especially that woman, I can tell she's disgusting. This is how she treats her children, her grandchildren, everyone in their life. She's just disgusting. Bantering and harassing and bullying all these witnesses. And that's what she tried to do to the psychiatrist, and it was ridiculous. She handled herself so well. Her explanation of borderline was great. I can't remember, so I'm not going to try to bring it up because I just can't remember everything she said. She brought up a comorbidity of personality disorders amongst other problems Amber has. But she diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. You'll have many experts, doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists tell you they're the same. They're not, obviously. I mean, it's pretty simple. They're not the same when you have 9 criteria for this one and 9 criteria for that one, and they're different. They're not the same. They're different. Stem from the same place, same cluster, a lot of similar causes, a lot of similar behavior traits. I see her as being more histrionic, the more sexual connotation, the more exaggeration of emotions, the very shallow talk, very accusatory. So this case in particular really hits home with me. I've healed from my traumas and pain, so I don't get emotional reaction from this. And I would have 5-10 years ago, man. I would have just been like, oh, I hate Amber. This is crazy. What bothers me the most is here we are, 2022, and you've got people fighting for rights and equality of any kind of group of person you can think of, besides men, and maybe white men, right? because black men, Mexican men, and Hispanic and Latino and Arabic men all have these special rights and things here. But men, no one sticks up for men. I have been wronged, betrayed, lied to, abused massively by women. And a pattern in the days that I was abused, the abusive relationship pattern I had was physical abuse, cheating, lying, and then get everyone to believe that I was doing it to them and they weren't doing it to me. They're innocent. It is unbelievable. Now, the people that know me never believed it. But starting from high school, my high school classmates, groups of people, things like this, maybe a bar, or a business I attend and go to and patronize and know people there. It's amazing how fast people jump on that and just pick a side. I saw something awful about a month ago, talking about emotionally abusive relationships, and this person was saying, and I mean, this was a big source, saying you must pick a side. You pick a side right away, and it's like, what? Pick a side, and right away. As if you know them. You know how long it takes to get to know somebody, and then you have this toxic relationship? I get it. But picking a side could be very damaging if you're wrong. It's not okay. These are things that are not okay to be wrong, because you don't have to. And I get that. So I can tell you right away, Amber's absolutely, everything about her is deception. Everything is manipulation. Everything she's accused is a total lie. The histrionic is the false accuser, is the believable victim. Because of people that have histrionic personality disorder, there are multiple people in prison, in jails, dead, sick, because somebody just opened their mouth. That's it. Men are physically violent. Women are verbally violent. And women can just open up their mouth, man, and say a few words and just ruin people's lives. It's hard to empathize, isn't it, with Johnny Depp if you haven't experienced it. So then you just look at these two, oh God, Hollywood actors, multi-millionaires, oh, they got it so hard, don't they? It doesn't matter what you have or own or what you do or how much money. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't change a freaking thing. The only thing I can see money changing and success and fame is just to ignore your problems more, which means they just get bigger. The part about this case that bothers me so much is just a person making false accusations to ruin someone's life, supposedly their partner. It's just awful to see. And it's too bad that Johnny Depp has to go up there and just air everything which he's doing. He's just coming out clean. And I remember how that felt. I remember where you just didn't care. You just want to tell your story. You want somebody to believe you. And you want to show that this person is just an awful person. They've just treated you awfully, and they've done all these things to you, and you've had no empathy, no validation, no compassion anywhere. And that's what he wants. And I know that he's suing for $50 million, and it seems like his career is over. So it seems like she's going to lose and have to pay a ton of money. Because I don't know, she's countersuing for $100 million. I don't see how she could get a dime. I don't know why. But Johnny's going to get some money. He's going to get some money. And because the entire defense is falling apart. She's been caught lying. I mean, she admits abusing him. I hit you, I didn't punch you, these kind of things. What gets me the most, man, is just ruining someone's life. Just cause you feel like a victim and you want attention. When she's sitting there talking, giving that interview a year ago or whatever it was, or maybe it's 2016, I haven't been following the story, and she's sitting there talking about how she's been abused and she's just trying to stick up for abused women and victims. All of that was a lie. All of that was a lie. You can look at her face. I can tell you so many different reasons. All of it was just sheer lying. She's not just delusional. She's disgusting. She's vindictive. She's violent. She's nasty. She's a criminal. She's antisocial. She is just one disgusting human being. And there's a lot of people out there that believe her, and that's damaging. And when we start taking sides like that, I know I'm taking a side as far as my opinion, but I wouldn't do anything about it. I'm all I can say is that she's deceptive, and Johnny is just coming and clean, saying everything. It seems like everything he's saying is believable. It seems like the entire defense is just wrong. I'm not sure what else you wanted me to talk about. You said her description of borderline. It seems spot on. Like I said, I can't remember. I mean, she was saying things like the overreacting emotionally and always believing that she's a victim. That's borderline and really histrionic. The comorbid diagnosis. It helps a person understand, okay, she's this and this, but typically it's more just one or the other. Typically. Because if you can comorbid everything, if you did, it doesn't really help you understand, I think. But she was great. She was. I don't know how she is in her personal life, and I don't even know how she is as a doctor or a forensic psychologist is what she is. But how she handled herself was incredible. I loved it. And the defense tried to accuse her of like doing it for Johnny and money and all that. No, dude, no. She's extremely successful. She's extremely successful, and you can see she has a ton of integrity. So she doesn't need to go on a trial and just lie for money. I mean, what an accusation. That defense is gross. I'm more grossed out. I mean, because you're hearing things that someone did on tape and audio and you know, in the past, and that's always gross. But seeing the defense doing it right in front of your eyes is gross. But keep questions coming about it. Whatever you want to ask me about the trial, I have no problem, especially in this format, Q&A, answering them. Ask me anything. Extremely interesting. I feel so bad that Johnny has to air all this stuff out. It's awful. And I know he doesn't really want to, but he knows it's the only way to achieve what he wants. Yeah. It's sad. It is. But I hope this just grows awareness of this problem, and people can start to understand the damage of it, and so that victims from now on in the future can have a little bit more compassion, understanding, because they get judged. All I see, who was it? Somebody on TV, some celebrity, yucky, was saying, oh, they're just two people. They're both abusing each other, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That to me, I think, goes more than you don't understand. You start to look a little bit like Amber. It's okay, right? You have no idea how this could happen. How does a guy put up with that? I mean, I've had a YouTube channel sit there and make up videos, make up crap about me and just try to destroy my life. And then she says, oh, poor him. He's a man. How could a little old woman like me hurt a man? You know? And then they all laugh and accept it. It's like, oh, you can. Trust me, you can ruin people's lives. You don't have to have the same private parts as a male. Patrick from Switzerland. Hi, Patrick. Thanks for your great work. All the best for you. Thank you, Patrick, for taking the time to tell me that. Thank you. Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. Don't know if you've ever talked about this subject before. About 3 years ago, I got police department just posted a card about a offender moving in your area. Watching words I use. Turns out he is right next door. Very nerve-wracking. I pretty much take my phone every time I'm outside. I look around more when I go outside, trying to stay as safe as I can. Have you ever had this happen to you? No, I haven't. I have never had that. God, man, I remember years ago when I worked in retail where I had to card people, you know, to purchase liquor and stuff like this. And I was a bartender, used to be. And, God, dude, I had somebody show me an ID when I carded him. And it just said, offender. It was like normal ID, and it was like offender, like that big across the front. It was just like, oh, geez. Okay, so you said offender. I hate to assume, but I can't really ask you right now, Rory. I'm guessing this is a sex offender, yeah? Because anything else that they'd have to post, he probably wouldn't be out of prison, But sexual offenders get out. Rory, this is all public information. Maybe it'll help you to look it up. look this person up, see what they were charged with and convicted of. That might help you feel better, right? I'm guessing it's a sex offender. And you have typically a couple different kinds of sex offenders, and they're very, very different. You have a violent rapist that rapes adults, and then you have an adult who's attracted to children and rapes children. They're extremely different. Typically don't do both. Typically one or the other. So you have a violent criminal that seeks, and there's different reasons people rape. It's not just because someone needs sex. They haven't had sex in so long. Typically the longer you don't have sex, the less you want it. So there's many more psychological reasons people rape. Power, control, insecurity, things like this. Where a child offender, typically, not always, typically, they can be born a psychopath and but typically they've been abused as children. They lost their power. They want it back. They abuse a child. And typically, and I've studied psychopaths and sexual offenders and pedophiles and things like this for years. It's extremely interesting to me. As gross as it is, it's interesting subject to me. And if you understand pedophiles is a specific age group. There's a name for, there's like 3 different types. You've got the post-pubescent, you have prepubescent, and infants. But if this was a sex offender that raped a child next to you, Rory, I don't know if this helps you feel better, but there are a significant portion of adults that are attracted to children. So when you have when you look at, and we don't know, but if you look at every single adult who has raped a child, they're attracted to children, but that is a very small portion of people who are attracted to children that actually act upon it. Okay, so the people that act upon it, there's something wrong with them. So not just they're attracted to children, these are people that act upon it. Not just somebody who wants sex with an adult, but somebody who acts upon it is violent. Okay? My point is, Rory, if this person molested a child, you're probably